So, you want to be a millionaire selling insurance, particularly in the Medicare health insurance space. In this video, I'm going to break down for you step by step my advice on what I would tell a young me if I had to start all over again from scratch. I knew nothing about what I know today, but perhaps I can send this video in a time capsule back in time to my younger self, and this would be the only information that I have to work with.
This video is brought to you by none other than Hire Heroes, you guys. Hire Heroes is your one-stop shop when it comes to virtual staffing and making sure that you have qualified talent with your business. One thing that I love about Hire Heroes, you guys, is they've actually gone through the process already of vetting and making sure that your staff member is well trained to best fit your needs. Whether you need help with social media work, posting things on your accounts, responding to people that send messages to your social media accounts, whether you need help with data entry or a multitude of other things that they're qualified to do, Hire Heroes has got you covered. If you're having trouble finding quality talent and number two, affording to be able to run payroll for that talent, Hire Heroes has got you covered with an affordable alternative to have a virtual assistant working for your business. There's a link down in the description of this video to where you can learn more about getting your own VA through Hire Heroes. I certainly recommend it. They're what we use in our business for all of our virtual assistant needs, and you will want to make sure that you check them out today.
I've learned a thing or two over the years when it comes to building my business. Now, in order to kind of tell this story, I want to kind of rewind a little bit, right? And I want to kind of talk a little bit about my career up until this point. I got into the business extremely young, 20, 21 years old, somewhere around that time frame. And I was incredibly young, I was incredibly green, and I was incredibly raw. And I lacked a lot of ability, I lacked experience, I lacked knowledge, I lacked confidence, I lacked probably everything you can possibly think of when it comes to what the skill sets would be required in order to build a very successful insurance business, right? It was just me starting out. I did not have any staff, I didn't have any employees, I had no money, right? I had no clients, no revenue, no nothing. I was a young kid trying to get people to take me seriously, okay? So in my original journey, I was cold calling people for my first 3 or 4 years that were turning 65, and we were cold calling for Medicare supplement plans, okay? Cold calling 90 days out from their birthday for T65 folks. And that's how I originally built my business. That's how I made my first 6 figures. And along the way, there's a lot of things I probably would have done differently if I knew what I know today, okay? Now, I have built my business to be a 7-figure business. So this comes from a place of experience. So let's kind of walk through step by step everything that I would recommend in order that you need to do. So let's just say you first get your license and you're brand new on the scene, okay? What is the first thing you need to do? Well, number one, you absolutely must determine who you're going to do business with. What do I mean by who you're going to do business with? I don't mean like a business partner. I mean, who are you gonna partner with in your business in the form of an upline, a mentor, an FMO? What is an upline, a mentor, and FMO? Well, in the insurance world, if you're not already familiar, most Medicare contracts and health insurance contracts come in the form of a hierarchy. So typically, especially on the Medicare side, you cannot go direct with a lot of carriers. You have to typically go through some kind of FMO. And FMO stands for a field marketing organization. They are the large companies that essentially provide agents with resources, training, support, and in exchange, they make a small override when an agent makes a sale, okay? It doesn't come out of the agent's commission, but they get an override in addition to their commission for helping them make sales, providing them resources, support, that kind of thing, okay? So some people don't think FMOs are all that important, but in my opinion, I think if you have the right FMO, it can really supercharge your growth and help you out tremendously because they're a wealth of knowledge. They provide you a lot of additional information, resources, training, and everything else in between, and they can shortcut your growing curve quite a bit, in my opinion. So you need to make sure that you pick a good FMO first, okay? Somebody that you believe in, somebody that you would want to be like. Somebody that you would want to grow to be where they have gotten, right? Like I've always told people that you want to learn from somebody that you would trade places with. Maybe not all around. Maybe you're like, okay, I love my kids, I love my wife. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like swapping out your families, but like from a success standpoint, would you trade places with this person? Look at their resume. Look at their career accomplishments. Look at the size of their business. Look at their influence. How many people have they helped? How many people have they trained? These are the things you need to be looking for when it comes to picking a mentor. Now, picking a mentor is your first step because in order to start growing your business, you have to pick up contracts. I am of the opinion that you absolutely have to, without exception, start by building a book of business. You have to start by selling yourself. Unless you come in with just a bunch of startup capital, a bunch of startup money where you can build a business where you're hiring LOAs, you're hiring agents, that kind of thing, you have employees. Most people, that's just not going to be the case. Most people come in, they're very strapped on funds. They're coming from a place where perhaps they are used to a steady, reliable salary, income, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, they have no stability. They're working straight on commission. It's an eat what you kill kind of game. And if you don't have any clients in the books, guess what that means? You have no revenue consistently coming in for your business. So you have to, in my opinion, start off by selling. Why is this? Because there's two reasons why you shouldn't recruit. Like there's two kind of ways you can build a business in our industry right now. You can build a book of business and you can build a downline. A downline means you're contracting other salespeople underneath you, multi-level marketing, network marketing style, and you're making an override off of them, right? There's two reasons why, if you're brand new, doing this is the stupidest thing possible. And in my opinion, it's a fraud for most of the people that you're bringing in the business. Number one, you don't know shit right now. You don't know nada, okay? You can't teach what you don't know. If you have not written 500 policies, if you have not written 1,000 policies by your own pen, how can you teach anybody anything, right? Like, how can you teach anybody anything? You haven't done it. You have no ability to do it. Some of the biggest fraudsters in our industry right now are people that recruit that never sold, and you can see it in their content. You can see it in their training. You can see it in their advice and their information. There's nothing there. All that they bring to the table is trainings with carriers, having carriers come in and talk about their products. Doesn't mean that's not important, but you can't build a business just knowing product knowledge, okay? We're going to come back to that in a second here. They don't provide any ability on how to generate leads, market, get in front of people, which is the name of the game and the lifeblood of an independent agent, okay? So that's the first reason. The second reason why you don't want to come in and recruit is no matter how good you are, 80 to 90% of the agents won't ever do anything, and you can't make them successful. Most people get into the business for the wrong reasons. They don't have the strong work ethic, and it's a societal problem as much as it is anything else. Most people are not cut out to be self-employed. Let's just call a spade a spade. Most people need a work environment, a structure, and they don't have the internal discipline and fortitude to keep themselves accountable to do what's necessary on a day-to-day basis consistently, day in and day out, put in the extra hours, work late at night, work weekends, that kind of thing, that it takes early on to build a business. So it's not a reliable income to recruit. It takes a long time to build. It takes recruiting hundreds and hundreds of people to find a few good ones. And if you don't have a reliable book of business built up, you're going to starve to death counting on others. And also, even the ones that could be good won't be good because you don't know what to teach them because you've never done it, right? Like the success rate's going to be even lower than normal because you don't have the tools to help them. So what do? Don't recruit. Sell 4, 5, 6 years, write 500 to 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 clients first, okay? So go the route of selling. Trust me on this. I will save you years of heartache if you listen to this point of the video. Go back and watch that for that part again if you didn't get it, okay? If this didn't drill into that thick skull of yours, if you're kind of pushing back on this information as you're listening to this, go back and listen to it again. And maybe again and potentially again until you get it. Sell. Build a book of business first, okay? So sell. Now, you've picked a mentor. You picked an FMO. I have other videos about what you should be looking for in an FMO. If you'd like to see that video linked in the comments, comment down below that you'd like to see one of our FMO videos, and I'm happy to kind of drop that in the comment section. We don't have time to talk about it in this video today. But find your FMO. Once you've done that, they're getting you contracted. They're telling you exactly which products in your particular area you need to be set up with. They're building out your portfolio of Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements. There's two things you need to learn. One, product knowledge. You do need to know product knowledge. You need to be competent about what you're talking about when you're out in the field talking to people. Number two, you need to be able to develop a leads flow and lead sources and be able to get in front of people. These are the two things you need. These are the holy grails right here for you to be able to start growing your business. In order for you to make $1 million business, a 7-figure business, you first have to make a $100,000 a year business. And your first $100,000 a year needs to be grinding. One app at a time. Okay? So, how should you start? Well, as I mentioned, most people do not have a lot of income or finances or money saved up or cushion saved up when they first come into the business. So what does that mean? They don't have a lot of money to market. They don't have a lot of money for leads. They don't have a lot of money for anything. They don't have a pot to piss in, as a wise person once said, right? So what does it mean? What does this mean? It means you have to find ways to acquire clients without spending money. That's usually how most people need to start. For me, it was cold calling. I could buy a year's worth of a cold calling list for $100, $200, $300, and all I needed was a phone and a script, right? I don't recommend that these days. The rules have changed dramatically. They've tightened the regulations on it. It is highly, highly illegal to cold call someone, and it results in a Medicare Advantage sale. You'd have to sell them only MedSup. You couldn't sell them drug plans. And more people aren't answering the phone for cold calls. Just don't go that route. If I had to go back and do it again, I would have probably done it differently. Although I think there was some advantages for me doing it. It turned me into a great salesperson. I wouldn't recommend it for you. Now, here's what I would recommend. I would come up with two different avenues. One is going to cost you time. The other is going to cost you money. Every single time you get a client in the insurance business, it's going to cost you one of two assets, time or money. So ask yourself the question, which one do you have more to part with at the beginning? Typically, it's going to be time for most people that are starting out because you don't have a lot of money. Now, that will shift. Once you start to build a clientele, you have some money coming in, you're busier than you've ever been before. You have less time available, but you have more money. So this is going to kind of shift down the road. We'll kind of come back to this. But you need to develop some ways to get clients without spending money. What are some examples of this? Well, what's known as grassroots marketing is necessary. You need to build relationships with other agents in your town that don't sell what you sell. Maybe if you're selling Medicare, you're looking for financial planners, you're looking for bank tellers, you're looking for life insurance agents, you're looking for ACA agents that don't do Medicare, you're looking for tax offices, all of these different businesses, dentist offices. You're trying to get out and meet with as many different local businesses as possible and go into it understanding the majority of them are going to turn you away and shut you down. But you have to play the game of large numbers. You don't need everybody to agree to be your referral partner. You need a small percentage. I would say 20%. So you're going to get turned away 80% of the time. 20% will want to do business with you. It's also helpful if you send them referrals of your clients as you grow for the services that they provide, right? Maybe you want to join a local networking group. Maybe you want to join some kind of networking group or some kind of organization with your local chamber of commerce. Find ways to get out and meet other people that don't do what you do, but can refer their clients to you. And that is an incredibly pivotal way to grow your business when you don't have any money yet. Nobody knows who you are. You don't have any kind of reputation. So how are you going to grow? You don't have money to market, you don't have money to advertise. You boots on the ground, pounding the pavement, getting out and meeting people. Go to 55 and up communities, retirement homes, things like that, and offer to do bingo, offer to do events, offer to do Medicare 101s for them. You need to just get out and meet the people, right? Get out and spread the message of what you do. The more people become aware of you and what services you provide, the more people will want to work with you. It's just simple business 101. Obscurity kills more businesses than anything else. Obscurity can best be defined as nobody knowing who you are. You're obscure. So become known. And when you don't have money, the only way to become known is to get out, meet people, and get in people's faces a little bit. Be like, hey, it's me. This is me. This is what I do. How can we work together? How can I bring value to your business? Always concentrate on what you can do for them, not what they can do for you, and everybody will have need for you. We have developed a litany of referral partners in our local area. We have credit unions now that we've started to partner with to send us referrals. We have dentist offices, tax offices, financial planners, doctor's offices. We have so many different referral partners. We have a slew of other agents that send us referrals. It just takes time. You're building a network of friendly relationships with other businesses. It's going to take some time, but this is one of the ways to guarantee that you're going to not fail because you're not spending any money. You're just boots on the ground, hustling and working your tail off on a consistent basis. So start by building this network of relationships. At the same time, as you have funds available, are going to want to buy some kind of leads. You should start buying some kind of leads. There's a lot of different leads out there. You could do direct mail leads. You could do telemarketing leads with our friends at Lead Heroes. There's plenty of vendors out there that will sell you Facebook leads. And you're probably going to spend 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 bucks a lead, depending on the type of lead. Determine what your budget of leads is going to be. A lead can best be defined as somebody that has expressed vague interest in your product or service, but they've expressed some kind of interest regardless. So instead of you going out there and talking to 1 million people to find a few that are interested in you, you don't know who's really interested necessarily. Lead companies do the work to essentially whittle down to people that have interest. Now, leads are typically going to come in and you're not going to close 100% of them. In fact, you probably won't close a majority of them. I would say a break-even point for leads should be 10% closing ratio. A good closing ratio is 15% of leads that you come in that you become clients. And a good and above average closing percentage would be 20%. So that means if you get 10 leads and you close 2 people, you're doing great. And your profit margin is going to be great as well. If you kind of think about it from a Medicare perspective, this is kind of what we're looking at. Let's say you're working with 265 people and you're getting leads for 25 bucks a pop. You buy 10, you're spending 250 bucks, you get 2 clients. If you're closing 20%, your commission is over $600. You have $1,200 in your pocket, right? Very, very profitable is the game of leads. It's trading money, but getting clients in far less time than getting out on the boots on the ground tactics. So come up with a budget. Figure out what that number is of what you can spend on leads on a month-to-month basis. And figure out what that number is going to be without you having to not buy groceries for that month, right? Like, don't force yourself to come up with a budget that's so high that you're not going to be able to live, not going to be able to provide for you and your family. But figure out what it is. For some people, it's $200-300 a month. For some people, it's $400 or $500 a month. Everybody's in a different financial situation. So come up with a budget and stick to it and spend it every month as if it was a bill, a rent payment, a mortgage payment, a car payment, and spend it every month. And then build with this balance of boots on the ground, grassroots marketing, and leads. And you'll see your business start to grow. All of a sudden, you'll have 100 clients. You're starting getting referrals from your existing clients, which is gasoline on the fire to help grow your business. You'll start seeing more and more referrals come in the bigger you get. To get to 6 figures, you typically need 300 to 350 clients on the books. So you use this tactic all the way to get to 6 figures. Now, if you want to grow to $1 million, you have to do 3 things that evolve in your business. You don't need to do them at the beginning, but once you get to 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year, 300 grand a year, you start implementing these 3 things. Number 1, doing your own marketing. If you become good at your own marketing, running Facebook ads, Google ads, your own mailers, seminars, different things like this. This is your own marketing that you control. It's branded for you. You control the messaging. And not only that, you cut out the middleman of the lead company. Lead companies upcharge their services. They have an upcharge for their services. They have a break-even point, and then they upcharge you. So if you can become good at marketing, now becoming good at marketing is a ongoing, ever-evolving thing. because marketing is always changing. Marketing has everything to do with what's popping in pop culture, with what's relevant in your local area, with the messaging that people in your area want to see. And it's always evolving, always changing, and platforms that allow you to market and promote yourself are always changing. So it's never a finished product. Should always be learning. And at the beginning, it might be ugly. You might have to break some eggs in order to make an omelet. You might have to put out some campaigns that don't do very well at all. But it's a learning process. So you learn how to generate your own leads, which ultimately allows you to have, one, total control of your lead distribution. Two, you can generate a lead for a much lower cost than you can buy one. And you control the messaging. And you know exactly what's being shown to that client in terms of the messaging. In addition to that, you can guarantee that that lead's only being sold to you. Even some lead companies that say that their leads are exclusive, sometimes you never know if they are. You have no control, you have no vision and line of sight of what's happening there. So you control everything, from the compliance to the cost to the messaging, right? Now this takes time. So learn marketing and learn how to develop your own leads. This will cause you to have a better ROI, a better cost per acquisition per client, and you'll grow much faster, number one. Number two, start hiring help. Because once you start to build a business, more things come up that are non-income producing activities. And to grow your business, you need to spend your time as much as possible on income producing activities. Some examples of this are customer service things. If you want to keep your clients on the books, you have to provide them good service, answer their questions year round, help them with billing issues and claims, fend off other agents that are trying to pick them off from you, right? All of this stuff is important for client retention. And if you have no process for client retention, your business will be like a revolving door. You'll get 3 clients and lose 1. You'll get 2 clients, lose 2. You'll obtain 5 or 6 new clients, lose 4. You can't have that. You need a 90% or more retention rate of your business. But you can't spend all your time retaining your clients. So start to hire help. Bring in people to help grow your business. And take great care of them when you find somebody good, pay them well, be generous, and show appreciation, and build one block at a time. And as your business grows, you'll have to hire more people and more people and more people, right? The efforts of many will always outweigh the efforts of one, even if that one is working 24/7. Remember that. You cannot get to $1 million a year business. And if you can, it's incredibly hard and you have to work your freaking ass off for longer to get there. But typically, most cannot get there without bringing on some help. So bring on some help. That's number 2. Number 3, start to develop your brand. Develop your company's logo, your brand, your message, and start to expand that brand. I am a big believer of doing things that might not bring instant ROI, but they're developing branding in my local community. This AEP, I've done 2 TV appearances with one of our local TV Fox 13 TV stations, and I have a third one in a few weeks. This might not bring a ton of exact clients immediately, but it's branding, right? Sometimes people need to see your branding, your likeness, your logo over and over and over and over again before they actually call you. We have billboards up around town. We pay tens of thousands of dollars for these billboards because it supports the branding. So there's 2 different types of marketing, in my opinion. There's branding and there's instant gratification lead flow. Instant gratification lead flow can bring you a client immediately, but you're easily replaceable because that person's just looking for someone to sign them up. But they're not contacting you just because they know your brand. You're easily replaceable. Another agent can easily come in down the road and fill your shoes, and they don't have a lot of loyalty to you. Branding develops loyal, cult-like following of your clients. They would never work with anybody else. Branding is a long-term play. It's a 1, 2, 3 to 5 year, potentially year growth project. Now, once you're in the place where you're making a few $100,000 a year, you can invest some into branding and some into instant gratification lead flow. Okay? Then, and only then, now your business is making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year. It's really cooking. Then you can start taking on downline. You find a few people that want to learn how to duplicate what you've done. Maybe they're in your area, maybe they're not in your area. And start with 2 to 5 agents and start to teach them what you know. Now you're going to make override off of their sales but you're helping them, you're building them a career, you're teaching them everything they know, you're pouring into these people and helping them have a career. And so they're becoming successful. In exchange, they're helping you become more successful. It's a win-win proposition. You're making override now. Once you see out of these agents who's going to be successful, you start to bring on more and more and more, and you build a distribution. Now, maybe it's not your goal to have a huge amount of agents that work with you independently. Maybe you want 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Maybe you want 50 and no more. But this is an important element because once you have a proof of concept, you have three things that these agents need. You have experience, you have a system of success, and you have the proven results that they need to be able to trust you. And then you can start to really build, and boom, voila, you have $1 million business. Here's your blueprint. I'm giving it to you for free. And if you take it, good on you. It's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a grind, and it won't happen overnight. Building this business is not for the faint of heart. It's difficult. It's hard. And most can't do it. Most don't have it in here. But if I'm talking to you and you do have it, then here's your blueprint on exactly step-by-step what you should be doing to become $1 million plus business. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you appreciate this information I shared with you today, I need your help. I need you to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It's going to help more people like you who desperately are struggling and they need to hear this information find it easier. Please help us by liking this video so more people can find it easier. Comment your thoughts down below. Did you like this video? Was this valuable for you? Did this change your perspective? Did this change possibly your career arc? I'd love to know about it if it did. Subscribe if you like videos like this. We put out weekly videos that help you grow your business, and we don't ask for anything in return except for a little bit of your time. Hope you found this valuable, and I hope to see you at the top. If this video helps you a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, please reach out to me and let me know. I'd love to celebrate your success with you. Thanks so much for watching. Here's to your success and your abundance. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.